let me know in the chat if you heard that. I still can't get it straight whether or not
You see the chat?
it needs to be unmuted. No, what did the chat say?
Are
Now we
you
can't
aware
see
that
you.
we could see
So
you
no
in the
sound.
sound, and now we can't see
Yeah,
you?
we
Still
were
no sound.
aware. I used my number pad to select scenes, and I accidentally selected the See Me scene because Numlock was still on. Hey, and welcome back to another show with Matt and Joe. Joining me right over there in his ornate solarium is the disembodied face of Joe.
Face, yes.
Voice, the disembodied,
face.
re-embodied voice of Joe.
sounds
Good to
very
know we
gruesome.
can hear you. Did you hear the intro? I think I have it set up to play properly without having to unmute the mics. But
I
don't
heard
know.
it.
But I don't know. We heard it. We heard it just fine. Okay, good. Hears us, sees us. Welcome to the show. As you can see from the thumbnail and also from the title, we've got some spooky topics tonight. We're going to be talking about the FBI laundering Bitcoin, but not really. That's why there's a question mark. If the headline has a question mark, the answer is no. Otherwise, it would have an exclamation point because they would know the answer was yes, which is a lot more salacious than maybe. Yes, and is Facebook turning on your phone microphones from your phone so that it can tell what ads you're listening to? Well, some people say yes. We'll get it more into that. And, of course, after the summit, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, with North Korea, it looks like from satellite photography that they are still building their nuclear facility, or rebuilding. So it's
Question mark.
question mark.
You put a question mark on there.
Yeah. Are they still rebuilding nukes? Satellite photos can be deceiving. For all we know, they're just building a really nice site on top of it for cleanup purposes, or just because they're like, we have this space now that may or may not be
Space Force.
radiated. Space Force. Oh, and a word on Space Force. I saw a... Hold on.
Holding.
No, it was muted. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, okay. All right, well, now I know I have to unmute the mics. Remind me next week if we're going to do the intro. The mics have to be unmuted at the time.
Gotcha.
Which also unmutes the whole board. Comes in through the board. That's what I was curious. It used to be set up so that if I had the mics unmuted, it would play twice with a delay, which isn't fun. They're turning it into a hotel. Maybe. Tourist site. They're getting ready for all that tourism. You know? Here is the accident. Oh, jeez. I don't know. That's your question of the day. What would you name a hotel built in South Korea on their...
South Korea?
North Korea. Dang it. On their old nuclear testing facility. Space Force. I heard an interesting theory about the Space Force thing. They said... this was from Scott Adams. This was not my idea. Scott Adams is a very interesting thinker. He talks a lot about persuasion. Scott Adams is the author of the Dilbert comic strip. He does periscopes on Periscope every morning. I think it's like Coffee with Scott Adams or Morning Coffee or something like that. And he talks about the daily news, but he always looks at it from a perspective, of persuasion, specifically with Donald Trump. He's fascinated with Donald Trump, not necessarily a supporter. But he does talk about what he sees Trump doing. And he's been talking about that since like early 2016. And he's saying these are the techniques he's using. And this is why he's going to win. And he did win. So this was Scott Adams' idea about the Space Force thing. When Trump says we're going to have a Space Force. And it's going to be in space. And it's going to be like a branch of the military. Do you know what actually happens?
Hopefully NASA gets more money.
That's like, seriously, they're going to look into viability and funding and what's going to, all they're really doing is starting a process that was going to eventually start. And all he did was say, we're starting it.
Dress it up in a package.
At some point, some president was going to say, all right, now's the time where you should start looking into soldiers in space. Hotel. Very nice. So, yeah, his theory was Trump just realized, hey, here's a simple thing I can do. But he will always go down in history as the guy who started Space Force, even though all he really did was like, hey, can we look into this? Somebody was going to say it eventually. So he said it was pretty much free money sitting on the ground, and now he's going to be known as the guy who started Space Force. So that was interesting. A little aside from last week. Other things. Oh, I wanted to hand it over to you, Joe, before we dive into what I got. Let me give you the screen in a second, and you can bring
went
those.
through my what's that? Rapid fire tech.
Yeah, hold on. Is it tech? Okay, here we go.
Oh, I think I combined the two. Techie news. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This was interesting. Google may be working on a gaming platform, the likes of which may rival Xbox and PlayStation.
Doubtful.
We'll see. Yeah, you said.
Yeah, Steam tried to do that, console-wise. Didn't work out very well. They started selling. These pre-built computers. They were called Steam machines that were kind of like the same footprint, dimensions, size of a console, but they didn't sell very well because they were priced more expensive than a console. So somebody who wanted to sit in their living room and play games would just get a Xbox or a PlayStation, and nobody ever bought these. They're still available on the Steam store, but I don't think anyone knows or cares. So I don't think they sold any of them. Anyone who's an avid gamer on Steam doesn't want to sit in their living room and play games. So I don't know what Google's gonna do, but their foray into laptops hasn't gone terribly well. With their little, what are they called? Google Pixel Book something? I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, they're new laptops. Nobody likes them.
Yeah, or maybe it's just Google has their hands in so many things. It's like, oh, we've got enough Google stuff. Let's give another company a chance. It's like we're gonna give too much power to Google, and they'll own everything. It'll be like what was that? What was the Lego movie? What was the name of that? The big bad company.
I don't know.
Remember you saying you said that he's such a good guy. His company owns everything from gas stations to voting machines.
Media. Yeah. Octon Corp.
Octon Corp.
Yeah. Don't know why that, but
so.
Yeah, they're gonna be like that. What's nice is there's Facebook, which is sad that's nice, but Facebook's
Can you imagine a merge? Facebook and Google merging?
Well, speaking of Facebook and Google owns YouTube. So YouTube is a property of Google. Instagram is a property of, guess who? Facebook. Facebook bought Instagram.
Yeah.
So
that's why I don't use Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point? I already load pictures on Facebook.
So Instagram just added or is about to add, I don't know, I don't use Instagram, but they are either adding or just added the ability to put videos up to 1 hour on Instagram. So they're kind of elbowing their way into the
YouTube area.
The YouTube area. Also, Snapchat. I got tired of sending text videos over text because I use SMS text still to text my wife, and I was trying to send her a video, but they always crunch it down so it is so small you can't even see what's going on. So I opened Snapchat, which I haven't used in years. Which it used to be a photo app. It's not anymore.
Yeah,
it's a full social media.
I heard they're adding gaming soon.
Probably. I was taking a video and it just kept going. It went all the way around like it usually used to do, and then it went around again, and then it went around again. It was like a 1.5-minute video, and I'm like, that's not what Snapchat's supposed to. There's nothing snappy about this. So yeah, everybody's trying to elbow into everybody else's space, and the front page. Apparently, there's a front page now. Was just littered with news articles from hip and trendy teen magazines and things like that, like articles.
Yeah, it's
Snapchat. So yeah, everybody's trying to get in that. Everybody's trying to get in the exact same places. It's
speaking of people trying to get in and adapt. There's a keyboard that's using lasers now.
Using freaking lasers.
Yeah.
It's
cool
not
concept.
what you think. It's not what you think it is.
What was I thinking?
No, not you. I was telling everybody, the audience, don't get too excited. There aren't lasers shooting out of this thing.
Well, that's good because lasers are bad for your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
And laser radiation, I guess. Just uses a little. This is a mechanical keyboard, and it still has those loud mechanical switches on them, but it uses a like the laser underneath your mouse. It uses that to tell when actuation happens. Actuation, which is our.
Hold on. I got this. Hold on. Ah! I always forget to disable that. Of the day. There you go. I disabled it. We're good.
Actuation is process of when something moves or is put into motion. It's basically in this situation. It's when the keyboard press is supposed to actually happen, when the keyboard reaches that exact. So it just makes it more precise, and apparently it's really comfortable.
Noisy too, apparently.
And very noisy. Yeah.
All good keyboards are like.
Apparently.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of, we'll do this one. All right. This is a cool thing I saw in the news. SD cards could bump up to 128 terabytes of storage.
Terabytes. Right now it's at what? 128 gigabytes.
Yeah, I think I've seen one that was 100.
Like 2 maybe.
I think I've seen one maybe that was weird. It's like 120.
So that's like 1,000 times bigger.
Yeah. Yes,
you would need 1,000. Like in my phone, I have 128 gigs. It's 1,000 of my phones.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it'll be a new standard, so it probably won't work with. See the UC on there.
Universal
SDUC.
Yeah. Ultra capacity.
I think right now it's like. Oh, that's a good. Yeah,
it's probably ultra capacity.
Probably, yeah. I bet it stands for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think right now they're on XD, which is extended capacity.
You're sure it's not extreme?
Expended capacity is a D. XD. Extended something. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's cool. That's like trying to keep up with 4K videos and such. We're gonna need NVR. Those formats are very, very intense, space intensive.
Yeah, that's
Space Force.
That's crazy.
All right, so there's this. Okay, let's throw the Space Force thing in. It's not really the Space Force, but
hey,
yeah, this is kind of slightly sad news.
This is our Space Force minute. Start doing that every week.
Yeah, James Webb Space Telescope. This is like the telescope to succeed Hubble. Launch has been delayed again to 2021. It's a pretty expensive telescope. We're running at almost 10 billion now. This is 9.66. But when it does run, it'll help us look at planets. Right now we're at a point where scientists can say with confidence, or astronomers can say with confidence, that there are about 100 billion habitable worlds in this galaxy alone.
Come on.
Potentially habitable.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying inhabited.
Yeah.
I'm saying potentially habitable.
Habitable.
Yeah, 100 billion. That is a number so big. A normal average human mind can't really comprehend how big it is.
Do you know
I have a hard time just thinking of like 10,000. 10,000 items. Yes. What was your question?
I actually have a really interesting way of visualizing orders of magnitude like that. My question was, do you know how they tell if a planet is habitable or not, or the chemical makeup of its atmosphere?
Yeah.
Like, they just look at light refractions.
Yeah, it's called spectrography.
Probably. But what they don't account for is what they can't account for, which is they don't know whether there are chemicals on that planet we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
okay. The main thing is, can we detect water? Is it likely that there's water?
Likely.
And is the planet at the correct distance from the sun so that water will be liquid? And is it a rocky planet?
Yeah. I mean,
that's really I think those are the main things. Does it have an atmosphere? Can we detect an atmosphere?
Well, did you know that sorry, I'm not gonna say did you know. You do know, but depending on the chemical composition of water, it can turn to steam or liquid at different temperatures. You can lower and raise the boiling point and freezing point of water
depending on the pressure,
by adding salt, air pressure, things like that. So maybe there are chemicals in the water we don't know.
But they would have to run throughout the entire planet. So
I mean, we don't know. It's a far ways off. There could be lots of stuff we don't know. So yeah, I just like to crap on NASA.
What we do know is that this is a much higher number than we had before.
Absolutely. So. I'm just saying there's a lot of unknowns, unknown variables.
Yeah. So you have to use probability with this, which is So I mean that increases the stakes for what's it called? The Fermi paradox.
The Whatty paradox?
Fermi paradox.
Fermi.
Basically, if there's so many planets and habitable places in the universe, or even in our galaxy, then where are the aliens? So, yeah.
There's somewhere.
Yeah.
To them, we're the aliens, and they're looking for us.
All right, so, we'll see. We can't wait for that thing to launch. It's going to be... By the way, that's actually real. That's gold. They're those hexagon reflector things.
Yeah, but they're gold sputtered or something, right? They're not like
gold plated.
Solid gold. Gold leaf.
I don't know how thick it is, but yeah, it is gold.
Probably
it's
only as
cool.
thick as it has to be.
Yeah.
As with most gold things.
Well, and with things that we have to send up into space. All right, so this is the last thing I got, I think. And it's pretty cool. It's an invention.
What?
They're calling it airbag. It kind of, you can see the picture. It kind of reminds me of the shoe design from Portal. When you fall, so it doesn't, something they say it stops you from dying, turning into. It
absorbs the impact.
Yes, it absorbs the impact. Yeah, so that's what these are. Kind of like detects when there's a sudden. When it detects a falling motion, I guess. It suddenly deploys and it's supposed to absorb the impact and protect your phone. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
mine would be going off all the time. I drop my phone way too often. Strangely, it's not broken.
Yeah. Well, there's the outside, but then there's also the inside. Like stuff on the inside starts, like components.
Jars loose. Yeah, you're right. After so many drops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really annoying. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The
is there a GIF of it working down there? Yes, I said GIF. I do not apologize.
Here, there's another one. This was one I think had the. Oh no, this one had the nice GIF. Yeah.
Wait a second. Okay, so is it acceleration? Like it feels that it's moving too quickly? Because it's like nowhere near the floor when it deploys. That upper one. It like deploys halfway down. How did it... Okay, how did it say it knows how to...
I'm sure they have...
ways.
I mean, there's parameters. It doesn't really... I don't think it really says exactly when...
Yeah, you jump up too quick. And where Pizza says, don't sit down too fast or it'll stab you. Jump up too quick. Can you imagine the thing deploying in your pocket?
Ouch.
Just four spikes ripping out of your pocket.
I think they're just...
I know, but...
Yeah. You probably would make it a little difficult to pull out of your pocket.
Yeah, you have to cut the pocket out of your jeans because you're like, I can't get it. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, laptops have... like my laptop has, if it falls, it automatically locks the read write heads in the hard drive. So
it parks it in a safe position.
So it doesn't crash the hard drive. Makes
kind of like
on
an old record player when the needle's sitting on the record, but then you take it off and you click it into that little holder, so that if you shake it, it doesn't go.
Yeah.
Like they do.
Yeah. So I thought that's pretty cool.
I like it.
Good idea.
They should make backpacks like that, or shoes. So if you fall,
what? But the shoe's already on the ground. I mean,
yeah, but
put it on like your hat or your face,
in case you fall on your head or your face.
Your wrist.
I just got this really funny mental image of a person falling from about 10 feet off a roof, landing
then
on
like
their
an
face,
arm
and
comes out,
Yeah, and then they just get one of those that flies out of their face and they go doing, and
bounces them back, and then they fall backwards.
like infomercial style. Good thing I had the spikes on my face. All right. Yeah, Amor Pizza's talking about aliens. They've already found us and are abducting us, right? Roswell, New Mexico. Yeah. Area 41? 51? Area 51?
51?
Not 41.
I thought it was
Area
49.
50. Nah. That was 2 areas ago.
Gotta keep up.
Also, Amor Pizza said, have you guys ever heard of that... ever heard of the keyboard that it just emits like these lasers and creates... You're talking about the one that has like the red lettering on the table, and when you type, it actually sees where your fingers are typing on the table.
Those were advertised so much in like the last 10 or 15 years, and it's crazy. It just never caught on. Probably because it's uncomfortable to just tap your finger against a hard surface.
Nobody likes tapping on a touchscreen. Like full-on QWERTY keyboard style typing. Like nobody takes their... Like I have a Surface Pro. If you detach the keyboard, it goes into tablet mode, and then when you go to, you select, just like on a phone, you select a place to type, and half the screen pops up into a keyboard. I've tried it. It's awful. Only if I'm typing in like a 3-digit number will I be like, okay, I'll type on this thing. Otherwise, yeah, nobody really likes that. It's convenient, I suppose, but I don't know. Yeah, Lou from Unbox Therapy did a video on one of those a little while ago. Looked cool, but I would never.
Can you imagine it?
One.
Can you imagine if it was like built into one of those smart watches, and then you're trying to type without moving your hands too much?
Yes.
That'd be really funny to see someone trying to implement that.
Yeah. Yeah, keypads on cell phones. Yeah. Get a Razer phone.
Yeah.
They don't sell those anymore, do they, Joe?
On eBay, but I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah. I wish, yeah. My sentiments exactly, Amor Pizza. I miss real keypads on cell phones as well.
Yep. All right. By the way, on that note, there are small Bluetooth keyboards that connect via Bluetooth to Android or iOS devices.
Yeah.
And they're just wireless, rechargeable, and you can type.
An
iPad.
Go ahead.
Because it doesn't have to be a case or anything. I have one that's really small that I can just Velcro to something and then use with my laptop, and it doesn't have to be near it. Just saying, those are an option. Look into them. What were you saying?
I was just saying, I can plug an actual keyboard, USB keyboard, into my phone and type.
Really?
Yes.
What kind of... Really?
Yes.
What kind of adapter do you have? Okay, so is it an adapter to plug any type of keyboard into your phone? Or do you have a special keyboard?
It's just USB to...
USB.
Yeah.
It's a Type B to Type A adapter. That allows you to plug in a Type A plug.
I feel like Type A might be like Type B might be like the printer kind.
No. Type B normal is printer size. Type B mini are the weird ones that were like that, and Type B micro are the trapezoidal ones.
Hey, look at
Thank
you.
you. I know. Look at me using good words to describe cool things. Those are the Type B ones, and then so into your phone, I assume it's a Type B micro into a Type A. Which, for those of you who don't know, that's what a Type A is.
It's a USB 3 micro.
Yours is a USB 3?
Yeah.
Oh, is it USB-C? Or is it...
No, not USB-C. Mine's a Note 3. That came out before USB-C was the existing.
Okay, so it's a Type B, but it's USB 3.
Yeah.
These are important distinctions I'm asking.
Yeah, so it's the micro trapezoid with the extra part. The extra bit on it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I had one of those. That's on the bottom of your phone?
Yeah.
Nice. Those are... Yeah, sorry. I don't know why. I get super... I.O. I just love I.O. Those are either or.
What, USB?
The USB-C.
Oh, yeah. You can put them in either way.
Yeah, you can... Well, you can plug in just a normal one into half of the port. Or you can plug in the USB-C into the full size. because it's a normal USB-C micro port and then an add-on side part next to it. So it fits. You can plug just a USB-C 2.0, USB Type B 2.0 micro into it, but it only plugs into half of the thing.
You might have lost me. This is not USB-C. USB-C is the thing that goes in either way.
I shouldn't have said C. It's USB.
Okay.
Dang it.
Yes.
Right.
I know you can.
Off in the weeds.
I know you can plug in just the regular one. So it goes one way. I plug the regular one in here. I can't plug mine into anyone else's. So
exactly. So keyboard into that. Interesting. I'll have to look into one of those.
Ooh, we got a lot of
chat we missed.
Let's see. Razer phones on Amazon, but they're really expensive. I think you were talking about the old Razer phones, right?
Yes. I meant the Motorola Razer, not the brand Razer that makes new phones, which are awesome, by the way. I'm getting one next time, I think. Depends on what they have available in a year.
Is there any way to turn your phone into a remote control for a TV? Yeah, I can use my phone as a remote control for almost any device that can use a
infrared
remote. Yeah,
thing, right? Yeah,
infrared remote.
It's pretty tricky.
Or even smart remotes.
Really? No, she was talking about the good old-fashioned Motorola Razr flip phones. Apparently, they're expensive because, well, people miss actual physical keypads on their phones. Who knew?
Might find some cheaper ones on eBay. Yeah, I miss my V3XX-R.
He had to look that up. He doesn't remember.
I remember.
You don't miss it that
I do.
bad.
I remember. You know how many of those I had?
What the heck? Oh. What? No, wait. What the heck?
What?
How is that typing? That's weird. Shouldn't have been typing. Anyway. All right. Well, speaking of nuclear facilities, so this is let me make sure it sounds off. Okay. These are images from a satellite that we assume. Oh, speaking of satellite images from telescopes or whatever, that we think we know what we're looking at, but we might not. Some of these, I thought it was a joke at first because it was like small vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that? Are they saying that's odd, or are they just because? Why don't they label all these bushes too? Medium-sized bush ficus tree. I don't know. So yeah, water cooling outfall. So some of these probably where what? Probably where? That's not what this says. And these are trucks, crane, or excavator shovel. So yeah, they're obviously doing something here. Let's just let this roll. Newly infilled water channel. And then we've got, I can't see what that says. Wait for it to go by. Go away. Overlay. I want to see what that one is. 5 milliwatt reactor, maybe? Airbus Defense and Space. Generator hull. No visible steam plumes. Not sure we know what that means. Optus something storage building. Large truck. Getting more specific with these. So this is where the nuclear facility that had imploded and gone to heck was in North Korea, and apparently it looks like they're rebuilding it. So chemical separation, a cooling tower, newly erected blue-roofed building. These are getting pretty specific. That's probably not for consumer use, but okay. So this is on MSN, but it's by Avery Anapol, and it's from The Hill, which is more reputable than MSN. Satellite images from last week show that North Korea is making numerous improvements to the infrastructure at a nuclear research facility, according to a new study. The images obtained by North Korea analysis outlet 38 North. Are they supposed to be? I don't know. It seems like that's something they shouldn't be talking about in the news.
What?
Like naming this North Korea analysis outlet. Never mind. It just sounds.
Where they got it from?
Covert. Yeah. This place called Area 51 has told us they don't want us to tell you where it came from. President Trump and North Korea leader, weeks after they met, signed that agreement. Call for denuclearization. Stuff. However, it does say 38 North notes that In other words, they also say, after releasing this to us, they did note that nuclear officials are expected to proceed with business as usual until Kim orders official changes to procedure. So it might just be a red tape thing where they're like, we should still build this, right? And he's like, well, let me drop some papers to say stop. Possible. The agreement between Trump and Kim signed at the historic summit in Singapore earlier this month commits the U.S. to security guarantees, emphasis not added, in exchange for the, that's quotes, not emphasis, for a denuclearized Korean peninsula. Critics said the deal was unspecific and gave too much to North Korea without securing anything for the U.S. in return. I mean, I would never say that. Other people say that. I think it's funny when they say that. They don't say, we think that. Some people said it. Some people think it. We're going to tell you you should think it. But if it's wrong, don't blame us. Oh, that's right. I shared this on your Facebook. I'll grab it from there real quick. So about that summit, Trump did this really interesting thing that I didn't. Yeah, strange. I didn't hear about. I don't know why, because this was something I was pretty impressed with. Joe, there you are. There you go.
I didn't read the title of the video when I was watching it, and after I was finished watching it, I was like, that seems strangely geared toward, like, I feel like that was geared towards Kim Jong-un.
Okay.
And yeah.
So there are only a handful of ways that you can deal with a maniacal dictator who is so full of himself he has illegalized having his haircut in his country. No one else is allowed to have their haircut that way, or they get thrown in jail and put in salt mines and hard labor. That kind of a guy who is that into his own ego.
Wait. They really did that?
Oh yeah.
It's
Google
illegal.
That for me.
It's illegal for anyone else to have his haircut.
Yep, anyone in North Korea.
Thank
Nobody can
goodness.
have. I know. Of all things, it's like, oh gee, yeah, I was gonna get that one. Glad you told us it's illegal. Darn it all. But there's only a few ways you can deal with that, and one is to try and show a force and hope eventually he backs down and believes you that you're more dangerous than he is, or things like that. Or you can play to his ego and say, a smart man like you, sales pitch style. So here is a movie-style trailer that Trump says he played to Kim Jong-un during their meeting. And it's about, well, you'll see.
Is there sound?
There's supposed to be. Did I mute this tab? Desktop audio. This shouldn't be muted. Oh, this is, no, this shouldn't be muted. Okay. Am I the only one not hearing this?
No, I don't hear it either. Come on, you gotta have the audio. That's like the best part.
All right. Hold on. Let me see why we're not getting any audio.
Wait, is there an ad on the side of that page?
Shouldn't be. Whoa.
In times of great tension.
Hey, I hear something.
Yeah.
While this cycle repeats, the light of prosperity.
Okay.
7 billion people
So
inhabit
this is
planet
so
Earth.
well done.
Only be 2 results.
No.
Billion
Dang it. I
people
gotta stop
inhabit
it.
planet Earth. Of those alive today, only a small number will leave a lasting impact. And only the very few will make decisions or take actions that renew their homeland.
Only special
and change
people like
the course
you.
of history. History may appear to repeat itself for generations. Cycles that never seem to end. There have been times of relative peace.
Notice how they do.
And times of great tension.
They always do black and white, whether it's old photos or not.
While
They keep
this
doing
cycle
black and white of the
repeats,
bad,
the
and
light
the good
of
is all in
prosperity
color.
and innovation has
I
burned
didn't.
bright for most of the world. History is always evolving. And there comes a time when only a few are called upon to make a difference. But the question
You and me.
is,
You and me.
what
Kim
difference
Jong-un and
will the
me.
few make? The past doesn't have to be the future. Out of the darkness can come the light, and the light of hope can burn bright. What if
That's
a
a
people that share a common and rich heritage can find a common future. Their story is well known, but what will be their sequel?
I missed that part before.
Yeah.
Destiny Pictures presents a story of opportunity, a
Destiny.
new story, a new beginning, one of peace, two men, two leaders, one destiny. A story about a special moment in time when a man is presented with one chance that may never be repeated. What will he choose? To show vision and leadership? Or not?
Don't pick the wrong one. Don't
There
flip
can
the wrong
only
switch.
be two results. One of moving back,
This is my favorite part. Look at that. That is actually what the night sky looks like in Korea. There is North Korea, which is blacked out. You can't see anything at night. No lights are on. And there's South Korea, which has nightlife. And look at that. This area... Oh, you can't see it because I blocked the cursor on the share screen. That upper area, there's a country there. There's lots of people there. Nobody's doing anything at nighttime. Big scary jets. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
or one of moving forward.
This is cool. Watch.
Yeah, I did like that part. When
Yeah.
you said one moving forward.
Boom! Look at that. Imagine if you were cool.
A new world can
Imagine if
begin
there was
today.
happiness in your country.
One of friendship, respect, and goodwill. Be part of that world.
Did you catch that subtle threat?
No,
Respect.
that's all horse.
Do you know who that is?
No.
It's freaking Rambo, man. That's Sylvester Stallone.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the actor who played Rambo. He's like, yeah, and by the way, we've got Rambo.
And goodwill.
That's not how he
Be
meant
part
that.
of that world.
Okay.
Where the doors of opportunity are ready to be opened.
No, I don't. I think those are
Investment
just
from
regular
around
No,
horses
they were
running.
unicorns.
Where you can have
They were- what?
medical
Are you serious?
breakthroughs
Yeah, he's trying to
and
make
abundance
Kim
of
Jong Un
resources,
feel special.
innovative
We're
technology,
unicorns, you and I.
new
We're unique.
discoveries.
There's never been
What
anyone like
if?
us.
No
Can
way.
history be changed?
No, they're not
They-
unicorns.
they were
They were
horses.
not
World
unicorns.
Oh.
embrace this
I was about to
change.
say, I did not
And when
see any
could this
indication
moment in history begin?
of a horn on
It
them.
comes down to a choice. On this day, in this time, at this moment, the world will be watching, listening, anticipating, hoping. Will this leader choose to advance his country and be part of a new world? Be the hero of his people? Will he shake the hand of peace and enjoy prosperity like he has never seen? A great life or more isolation?
Yep, back to black and
Which
white.
path will be chosen? Featuring President Donald Trump and Chairman Kim Jong-un in a meeting to remake history, to shine in the sun. One moment, one choice. What if?
Now, who could say no to that?
The future remains to be written.
Seriously. Like, is that a good sales pitch or what? Jordan Peterson talks about motivation, positive motivation and negative motivation, and how the best way to be motivated is to have both. Not only, here's something great we could work toward, here's a goal we could achieve. Let's try and move in that direction, but also to be chased by the dragon of a bad future that might be. Not just, hey, imagine how great life could be. Also, you can imagine how terrible life for you is going to be if you don't pick happiness.
Carrot and the stick.
Oh yeah, yeah, but yeah, if you ever used a carrot on a stick, you're not supposed to hit him with the stick while you dangle the carrot.
No, it's like,
I
the
know.
donkey. Carrots in front, and sticks in the back.
Exactly. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know why I didn't see that anywhere. I don't know if it says, this is what he says. Trump says he played to Kim Jong-un, but why would you not do that? Seriously. What he's saying is, we're both starring in a movie, you know? We're the heroes of the film. Or are we? That's clever. It's a sales pitch, you know? Trump's a salesman. May not be the best business owner, but he can certainly sell a brand. So yeah, that was pretty interesting, considering considering the article I read about the one we shared, that they may be actually rebuilding their nuclear site, but hey, maybe they'll pick the good option. I don't know. Let's hope. All right, so
yeah, we'll see.
We shall see. Strangely, I saw that I learned about that article of them possibly rebuilding their nuclear site on Facebook, and some of my friends were like, "Ha! See, told you, Trump got played." And I'm like, can we be more optimistic about nuclear war rather than ha! They are gonna nuke. I don't know. It just seemed like you'd rather Trump was wrong than peace from the nuclear maniac. But that's just my biased opinion of their biased opinion. Okay, so Facebook patent turns phone mics on to record reactions to ads. I'll give you my take on that in a second, but let's read what Rachel England has to say. The company says it will never actually use the technology, though. Facebook has repeatedly denied tapping into phones' microphones for targeted advertising, but just because it isn't doesn't mean it can't. According to Metro, Facebook has applied for a controversial patent for software that will allow smartphones to begin recording when they hear secret messages hidden in TV ads. Begin recording, that is. As reported by Mashable, Facebook could embed high-pitched audio signals in broadcast content that, while inaudible to humans, could be deciphered by smartphones, triggering them into recording ambient audio and sending it back to Facebook. So you're watching TV, an advert comes on, then Facebook gets a recording of your response to that advert, assuming you respond at all, and aren't just sitting there with a glazed expression.
That makes sense.
Prompted by most TV ads. I think we talked about this a couple, like maybe a month or two ago, about how they're using specific ultrasonic frequencies to talk to cell phones through, any kind of emitter they want to set up. They were using that as a GPS deactivated locator for your phone, where they would either send signals out through your phone's speaker that you couldn't hear, apps on your phone like Facebook, and there would be receptors, say, at like the mall, these little microphones or speakers or whatever, and so either way they would send it to your phone or your phone would send it to them, but they would be able to tell by which signal they were hearing, at what frequency range, which phone they were hearing and how far away it was. So they could pinpoint your location just through audio being sent and or received from your phone, even if like everything on the phone was turned off except the speakers. Pretty crazy. This is what they're talking about, using that kind of technology to begin recording on your phone. So here's the issue I have with this headline here. Facebook patent turns phone mics on to record reactions to ads when it hears audio. The mic is already on. I know they're trying to simplify it, but your microphone is already on your phone, or it wouldn't be able to hear the cue to start recording. Everybody knows, at least everybody should, that if you have Google Assistant or Siri on your phone, it's always listening, trying to see if you're talking to it. It's like your butler is eavesdropping. So you're like, "Hey, Jeeves," and it's like, "Yes, sir." And it's like, "What? I thought you were all the way upstairs." No, I was standing over there waiting for you to say, "Hey, Jeeves." And so to state it that way makes it sound like your phone isn't always on and always listening to what you're saying. It is always on. It is always listening to what you're saying. The question is it sending it to anyone? Is Facebook able to access it? Because Facebook does not have a smart assistant yet. What? Oh. Yes. So Facebook doesn't have an assistant yet, but they might be coming out with one soon. I think there are rumors they're working on one to put on your phones. Imagine when Facebook starts just putting out their own phone. And it's just Facebook all the time. So I actually read the there's a little diagram. Here's some pictures in case you don't know. Yep, remote receiver display. Just saying. Here's a network. Specific application module. Users. Yep, unsurprisingly, people are concerned about the patent, which essentially details invasive tech, not unlike that used by Spanish soccer league, La Liga, which means the league. Spanish soccer league, the league, to spy on sports fans earlier this month. However, Facebook says it has no intention of ever implementing the technology described in the patent. That doesn't sound like the best move. They could be like, you're not really reading it right. That's not what we mean when we say that. But they're really just being like, well, I mean, yeah, that's what we're making, but we're not going to use it. Not until we actually have it, and then we're going to threaten to use it or take our peninsula seriously. Yeah, patents tend to focus on future-looking technology that is often speculative in nature and could be commercialized by other companies. Yeah, they might just sell the patent after they develop it to, I don't know, Google. Sorry to make sure my phone didn't hear that. So, that is true. Usually patents like that are filed long before they start designing it, or when they first come up with the idea, they put it out. I think it was 4 years ago, Microsoft patented a folding screen design for a small device. People were like, it's coming, the Surface phone. No word of it yet. So it's probably never going to happen. They probably sold it to whoever started making those dual screen foldable phones. Or something like that. But, so there's that. However, here's an article from The Verge that says, no, Facebook did not patent secretly turning your phone mics on when it hears your TV. Also, again, turning on your mic when it hears your TV. Think about that statement. Yes. So it's this little condescending post. Hi, everyone. Let's talk about how to read patents again. That's great. Yeah, so they pretty much said, no. They're not talking about that. Nowhere in here does it say microphone. It just says capture audio by the client device during a broadcast by a household device in the vicinity of the client device. So, yeah, whatever. They're not necessarily saying capture it like with a microphone. Butterfly net. I don't know what they think they mean, but they get kind of off in the weeds about it. But hey, The Verge says don't worry about it. And the other, what was this other one? Engadget? I think it was Engadget. Yes, Engadget says to worry about it. So either way, do you remember a couple of years ago? And let me get the chat real quick, and then I'll bring up this memory from a couple of years ago. So yeah, Amor Pizza said about the video, the Hollywoodified video, a very Hollywoodish of our president to do. Yeah. Oh wait. Wonder if that would even work, because half the time my phone can't tell I'm saying. I'm not gonna say what you said. You're welcome. Would probably work better. Yeah. It reminds me of the original subliminal advertising that started around 1957. Oh yeah, and to just to clarify that, we as we clarified with the article, it would start recording the audio to be analyzed, hypothetically, when it heard a very specific inaudible signal. So it would hear the inaudible signal really well because it's designed to be picked up really well, and then it would record your voice, and they could analyze it later. It might not specifically be as good at Google, as good as Siri at picking out your voice, but it wouldn't have to be. That's what I'm saying. Do you remember a couple years ago when everybody was freaking out because Facebook Messenger either updated or something their terms and conditions, and it said in there this device wants permission to use your camera and your microphone, and everyone's like, why would a messenger app need to use your camera and your microphone? They are going to be spying. You're giving them permission to turn on your camera and your microphone. They're going to be spying on you all the time. And I don't know how things like this get started, but it's absurd that. And I know, it sounds condescending as well, but if you've ever seen the Messenger app, there's a little button down there. It's not going to autocorrect. I turned autocorrect off. There's a little camera button down there in the app. You push the camera button, guess what turns on? Your camera. It also records video or audio messages you can message to people. Guess what it uses to do that? Your microphone. If you don't give it permission to use those, it can't actually record or take pictures. That's why it needs it.
That's true, but it's a bad security design, because it shouldn't have permission the entire time. It should only have permission.
Yes, but
it should only authorize when you need it for that specific situation.
Yes, but it would have to ask every single time you open the app and clicked on the camera. It would say, "Oh, do you want to give permissions to this thing?"
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that they don't want to use it nefariously. However, the idea of an app asking for permission to use your mic and your camera does not, there's a reason for it. It's not just, oh, and by the way, can we access your bank accounts? Your picture app. I mean, yeah, but like, can we? It's not like that. There's a reason they need permission. Maybe it should be more limited.
Now what are they doing with that?
Well,
now look where it's come.
They're not doing it yet. They may never do it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not.
According to them, and they don't lie.
No, we haven't had any data issues with Facebook.
No, of course not. If there were, I don't remember them anymore. Too many people arguing on Facebook about other things that I don't know of which I don't know. So yeah, it's, and I go back to this every time. There is a trade-off. You do know you do not have to have a smartphone. I mean, you do, but no, you don't. You don't have to have Facebook. You don't have to have Google. You don't have to have any of these things. But there is a trade-off. You are paying, as those Project Veritas recordings, when they were talking to the Twitter engineers, they said you are paying for using our free product, our free service with your data. That's what we get out of it.
Information is today's currency.
Mine your data. So there's that. Yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, since it was in our thumbnail and you guys might actually want clarification on this. Like I said, no, they weren't. The FBI was not actually laundering Bitcoin. Maybe. But they did run a Bitcoin laundering sting for over a year. Operation Dark Gold targeted dark web drug dealers, offering cash in exchange for tainted cryptocurrency. So they were they were technically laundering it because they were offering money to these cryptocurrency holders, drug dealers who needed legitimate cash rather than cryptocurrencies that they couldn't actually use. So more than 40 alleged dark web drug dealers have been arrested as part of a sweeping federal effort described by the Department of Justice as the first nationwide undercover operation targeting darknet vendors. If you don't know what the darknet is, it is a section of the internet that's like the internet's back alleys. It's not listed under the DNS?
In DNS servers.
In DNS servers. It's a lot more, I don't know specifically, but it's a lot more about like having specific IP addresses to websites, so you're like manually like connecting to them rather than going to Google. You can't find those on Google and be like, hey, where's that dark web back alley website? You just like manually connect your computers physically, obviously. But it's a part of the web that isn't easily accessed, and nefarious activity goes on in there, such as drug dealing, many other things. Yeah, that was a big concern I had. Is that a mechanical keyboard over there?
Maybe.
That was a big concern I had from the beginning of Bitcoin, when they're like, it's great because you can use it for anything and it can't be tracked. And like, there's a lot of things where money being tracked by the government isn't the worst thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it isn't the worst thing when they're like, oh yeah, these human traffickers, they used marked bills, so we tracked them down and we, uncovered a ring of narcotics trafficking, 40 people arrested. Luckily, they were actually able to do it, despite Bitcoin being, or Bitcoin, was it Bitcoin, or it just said cryptocurrencies? I don't know, doesn't matter. Same thing. For the past year, undercover agents have been providing money laundering services to these darknet vendors. So yeah, technically they were laundering money, but specifically those involved in narcotics trafficking, said HSI, Special Agent in Charge, Angel Melendez. I'm assuming that's Angel Angel. I don't know. In a press conference earlier today, Melendez led the operation from New York. Yeah. Isn't that great? That's your government dollars at work.
Did you say they were marked? Or was that an analogy? The bills? Were the bills marked?
Mine was an analogy. I don't think I just said that, did I? I read it. I mean, I didn't just read that, right?
No, I don't think.
I don't think so either. No, that was just an analogy because that's what the government does with actual currency. They will mark bills and then send them through so they can track them and figure out where the money laundering happens, where the money ends up. The hijacked money laundering service was offered across a number of different marketplaces, with agents claiming at least some presence on Alphabay, Dream Market, Wall Street, and others. I don't know what those first two are. In the past, law enforcement efforts have focused on taking down marketplaces in full, most notably Silk Road 2.0, and Alphabay. This is tech talk I'm not even aware of. Don't know what do you know what that is?
What?
Silk Road 2.0, and Alphabay. I guess those are dark web.
Silk Road, yeah. But
those are probably like.
I guess Silk Road 2.0 is after it was shut down and then came back.
I would assume that's a pretty safe bet. Like Pirate Bay, just keeps
Never
popping
heard
up
of
everywhere.
the other one.
Alphabay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's links to it, but I ain't clicking them. They link to stories. They don't actually link to the websites, I'm sure. Melendez says his office has shifted focus to the individual dealers who often operate independent of any single site. So yeah, it's a good thing that the law enforcement is one step ahead of the cyber criminals, because that is the as hopefully you know, that is the frontier of what is the word I'm looking for? Of crime, exploitative of crime that exploits people digitally is how it's done these days, because you don't have to actually travel.
North Korea had
to people's houses to
had
steal
big hands in Bitcoin.
Big hands
and Bitcoin hacking.
Nah, North Korea had really tiny hands. Yeah, I remember. Hey, we talked about that. I think it was like South Korea got hacked a couple months ago, and their like servers just got drained by North Korea. We think. But yeah, people used to run scams like they would come over and pretend to be energy, we're from Atlantic City Electric and we need to check your stuff, and to like old people, and old people would be like, okay, you're wearing a hard hat and a yellow vest, you must. And then two of them would come in. And they would be like, we have to check your electrical circuits. And then they would just split up in the house. And the poor old person could only be in the same room as one of them at a time. And so they'd be like, hey, don't go back there. And they're just like, I just got to check something, and walk away. And it's like, follow him, I'll steal something from out here. That used to be what like stealing from old people was like. These days, they just send them an email and they're like, click this link. I got a phone call, I think it was like 2 years ago, from somebody with a dubious tone of voice. And they were like, I'm calling about your Windows PC. And I'm like, what? And he's like, there's something wrong with your Windows PC, and I'll help you fix it. Obviously, I wasn't doing any of what he said. I was writing it down as he said it.
I remember you
go into your network settings. There's something wrong with your firewall. I need you to enable these ports for me. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I did that. And he's like, now disable. He's like telling me, can you unlock your back door, please? I need to get into your house. Yeah, and eventually he could tell that I wasn't doing what he was asking, because he's like, what do you see there? And I'm like, stuff. And he cursed at me and hung up or whatever, and thought he was funny. But yeah, that's what they do. And somebody who's like, oh no, my credit cards. Oh sure, I'll give you the information if you fix them or whatever. Yeah, so FBI actually laundered money, but it was part of a sting operation. Undercover. Going undercover online's got to be a lot easier than it is in real life. You know, the worst they'll do is delete your account. Hey, we found out Jimmy was a rat. Oh, they deleted my account. Now I gotta create a new account. Not to underplay it or anything like that.
Oh, as long as you're completely anonymous and they can't track you.
What was that? Oh, yeah, obviously. I mean, hey, if you're undercover online, you're using like 9 government-run in space.
Space Force.
Yeah, no, what do you call in space? No.
Cyberspace?
Yeah, no. Things from satellites. You're using things that are above the Earth. There's a word for it.
Feeds, VBNs.
I don't know.
Lines.
It's you're not gonna. It's in there. It's gone. So yeah, they're
Hacker
using
toolkit.
They are using way more safety stuff than we could ever dream of. They invent new safety stuff. Safety stuff. That's what I've been reduced to. All right, it's after the hour, and so obviously all my words I spent them all. Actuate was our word of the day, if you guys didn't catch it. To sum up, North Korea might actually still be building nuclear bombs, but we don't know. There might be, 1,000 habitable planets in our galaxy, but we don't know.
100 billion.
100 billion? No, is that what you said?
That is what I said.
I thought you said 1,000.
No,
Okay,
I
now
said
I really don't
I
believe
have trouble comprehending 10,000.
That's right. Okay, well, I'll leave you on this note. Here's a really great way, at least for me anyway, to visualize orders of magnitude, right? So if you've ever seen like a small one stud Lego, tiny little one, right? One single unit, and you draw a line of 10, it's 10, and then you draw 10 lines of 10 to create one tall sheet of them, that's 100, and then a cube of those, right? And that's 1,000. And then you take those blocks, that's your single unit, and you make 10 of those wide, a big long, however long that is, thing of it, and that's 10,000. And then you make a big, or wide, let's keep it going with the thing, big wide sheet of them, it's 100,000, and then you make that a cube, that's 1,000,000. Starting with the little tiny ones, you get that's 1,000, and then that's 10,000, 100,000, million. So 1,000,000 tiny little cubes would, you can visualize that. Just try it sometime. It works. I swear.
Okay, so that works. So that's for 1,000,000. You said.
Yes,
we got
that's
up to 1,000,000.
That's for 1,000,000. It's cubed twice from the way. No, that's probably not technically correct, but from the way I was describing it, it's cubed twice. So yeah, try that. It'll write it on a little piece of paper. Or you know what would be really cool? Mathematical. I was talking the other day about this VR program that has relative sizes of planets. It's stationary. It's for the Gear VR, so you just sit there. But then it's this is Earth, and then it shrinks Earth down so you can barely see it. And it's this is the next planet. That's the size up from that, and then it shrinks down so you can barely see it. And it's this is the the sun versus all of this. And so you see the sun get even bigger until it's just a wall, and then the next planet. And so it gives you a pretty decent comparison since it's 3-dimensional. You can see it in real space. It's pretty cool. Things like that for orders of magnitude would be really cool.
I'm sure there's YouTube videos.
Yeah, but there's something interesting about virtual reality, about being
able to
in the
manipulate
space.
it.
Well, I mean, it's I can see it on a paper, but being able to comparatively hold one in your hand versus the other gives it more life, more weight, makes it more real. So, I wonder if that counts. Pretty sure that does count. Wait for it. There we go.
What are we waiting for?
No, I'm sorry. I was updating something to make sure it was actually accurate. It was accurate. Who knew?
Is this meme accurate?
Oh, gee. I can't see your screen, so. Okay. I'm trying to full screen your tab.
Never forget.
I can't do that.
Never forget.
Always watching, Wazowski. Always watching. Thank you for always watching. We're going to end it here. And I have, for those of you who don't know, my music. Did I save it, or is it music at midnight? I adjusted it. I saved it properly from last time, so there's no typo in it anymore. I do music streams Thursday night at midnight Eastern time, which is right now in 3 hours. It's on my other channel, my music channel. It's linked in the description. So go ahead and check that out. Subscribe. You can watch it in the morning if midnight is just too late for you. But it's the only time I have where I can take a half hour to myself and sing. So I always take requests for that. I've got a couple requests from last time that I will be doing tonight, weather permitting. Also, I'm not sure if I have it. Let me check and see if it's in the description. I don't think it is. Oh, it is at the very bottom. My gaming channel. I don't usually put a lot of things on there lately, but I've been doing a lot of very cool. I got Beat Saber for VR. I'm gonna start putting some videos on there of that. They will be very interesting, I promise. I got my first perfect score the other night. I hit every cube perfectly in time. Didn't hit any of the wrong cubes on expert mode on a song. Primo. So
what rank are you?
1,000. 1,700 or something like that. Less than 2,000 on the leaderboards, which before that I think it was 8,000.
Oh, I didn't know they had actual leaderboards.
Oh, yeah.
They're just pulling you.
Everything has leaderboards these days. So for that song on that difficulty, I am 1,700 out of maybe 20,000, 40,000. I don't know. So yeah, it feels good, man. So I'm like, I should have recorded that. So I'm going to start recording them and putting up the good ones on that channel. So go ahead and subscribe to both those other channels so that you can get the most you can out of your YouTube viewing. Here we go. All right. Any final words, Joe? Well,
besides Slug Ladies, what's her name?
Roz.
Raz. That sounds right.
Raz.
Not Raz Al Ghul.
Roz. Yeah. Let's see. Montessori math materials are literally what you were just describing. Is that Math UC? You used to have little ones like Math UC, but they didn't go up to 1 million. See Montessori materials website and go to math. What I'm talking about. Okay, I'll check it out. Sounds really cool. It is probably something you could get into 3D printing and make a pretty cool penny out of.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it.
You should make million cubes where each side is divided. No, each side is divided and you print it and it's like, this is 1 million in case you didn't know. We'll see you guys next week. 1 million!